Hello. I thought one thing I was sort of talking about a bit was what some of my source material, what kind of things I look for in a source material. I've talked about a little bit why I when I've done source material hauls about why I like a particular page or even entire magazine or what book or whatever. But I thought I'd go a little bit more, if I could, into what I actually look for in a piece of source material. Now, the first thing, which may be found a little disappointing, is one there is because I can't really explain it as one of the things I look into is it's one of these things where I know what it is when I see it. It's like an undefinable thing in the fact that I've been doing this so long. If I see a picture, I don't look at pictures the same way as regular people do. I see a picture, and some people say, "Well, that's a nice picture there." Unless it's something like a picture of like a vase of flowers. There's nothing really I can do with that. It's I will look at that. Well, that's decoration. Um, but if you've got a picture of a scene of something like a seeing where people are doing things, I will not look see it the same way as most other people. Or I will then look into it and say, well, I could have this person holding something like this, or I could put some of these things here. This would look good if you did this, or if you put like this kind of mask over their face, that kind of thing, or have a car upside down on the ceiling. Um, um, that kind of thing, and so it's like how some people will say that some musicians who I used to play music, but will not be able to hear a song the same way. They will analyse how the musician did it, or somebody who studied English will they can't. I knew someone who did an English degree, and it's actually ruined her ability to read books for fun. She because how she was trained will just always instantly go to analysis. So this is a similar thing. So I do it with my digital source material in this one because it's just easier, it's at hand, and it means I don't have to set up the camera, and so there's quite a bit of laziness involved there. So I've got here my folder source material. So let's bring that up. We will. So now I've got all these subjects. I have them. As best I can them sorted out into subjects. With my actual physical fun books materials, I do not have the room or the ability to sort them out like that. Because sometimes you'll get like a page of also sometimes if you get a page of illustrations on things and they're not all the same subjects. So we have our subjects, or you get they're not all single page things. You get something on one that's got one thing on one side and something on another. So I never know. I'd never know how to arrange it anyway. And I like the whole thing of leafing through when I'm doing actual hand cut stuff, leafing through the book and or magazine and letting the illustration come as may. I mean, so actually, I haven't put it together yet, but I have actually. The other day, I was actually in a charity shop with my wife, and I saw these little, some more modern, more professional looking versions of those Ladybird books, and I was looking at two of them, and actually, from looking at both of them, actually, I had one piece of artwork already ready that I might want to put together. I won't be doing too much because they're only little pages, like about that big. So that's what can happen from looking through things. Doing this, it's a little harder because I do have to. With digital pieces, it is usually where I'm making something that comes as I have the thing in mind. I mean, sometimes I'll still scroll through and see. I'll start with like a basic starter image, and then I'll just look through and add stuff. Oh, this could go there now. This could go there now. So I won't go through some of the darker stuff like Holocaust, but so I've looked at these detective magazines because there's the vintage magazines that sometimes that I've been collecting um, with these kind of um, source material. This is where I can get that kind of stuff. Now I think I've actually started somewhere on. another laptop, a piece that I haven't finished yet that that's working with this. But there's one of the things that I like about these um, is, well, sort of something I don't like is the fact that I'm gonna have to I would have to crop this, and I'd have to maybe brush out some, the crease, where the damage. And it'd be lovely if that text wasn't there. That needs working around. But the whole thing of is, again, it's this type of illustration is very good to work with. It's very expressive. It's very aesthetically pleasing. It has, and if you want to make artwork that some people might like, there's a really good look for this kind of retro illustration. In fact, actually, as far as the text goes, you could actually work around it, because you could just draw around that. You've got like an album cover size piece. But since I'm using digital, I don't have to worry about this so much. I can kind of brush this out if I don't want to put anything there. But this is so much good, because the centerpiece there of the woman there, stuff could be done with that. So you could actually just remove this sinister piece there, or cover over it. It's something silly that she's scared of. You can have change his face or something as to what's there, or have it just completely blank. You could have him putting something. I'm going for the silly here, just for the like. An obvious thing would be a banana or something else. Or you could put out placing a book, or that's instantly the kind of things you can do with this. You replace his face or her face. Um, so I've looked at other detective magazines. Here again, this is a good image, but it's not fantastic. But this is one that I would actually start off with, and maybe start off with. But this could go in some other image. So this here itself is very good, and you can just ditch this and have something else there. Again, one of the things is have people holding different things. So there's something escaping out of his hand there, that kind of thing. So what I'm usually looking for are things like these are good images where they're expressive. They look kind of different, but they're not. Unique looking. But they're not. Each element's not so unique they wouldn't work together. It'd be too jarring. Um, so, I mean, I've used this in a piece. This guy here, I've put him in like the back seat of a car. So it's looking for images that I can manipulate with, aren't too encumbered by things covering them like text. I mean, this is a good thing to start off with, and you can always replace things. Something that you can always replace backgrounds. You don't want. I don't really want something too much where it almost looks like a completed image, because I've seen some looks as well. There's not much I can do with this really. It's a great image, but it's not very good um, for manipulation. I've got to be able to change something about it. But these things could then be popped into other things. This one, I liked it at first when I downloaded it, but it doesn't really. What's what I mean about something? It's very stylized. The fact that it doesn't really go well with something like that, or something like that. The illustration style is too different. It's So old paintings, well, there's not too many there. So look at vintage paintings are good, because it can be good for um, like I like to use that one. I don't know if I've got it here somewhere. The painting I can't leave alone. That's it. So I might as well go into why I use this painting so much, because I do use it a lot. Um, Firstly, you've got this triangle here, is there are so many things you can do with these people. They can be replaced. You can remove the halos. You can with either airbrush them out, or putting hats. These windows here are absolutely fantastic to work with, because you can remove the windows, put something replace what's in the background. You've got instant weirdness. And as soon as I've replaced her with the most work I've done replacing her is actually the Oppenheimer piece. We replaced her entire body with Vishnu and the face with Robert Oppenheimer. And I'm going to replace all the background here. That's another thing. You can actually replace the entire background here, or you can do things with these. You can be holding things. The only thing that's a bit of a pain is here, because it's a Renaissance painting. It's going to be like that, and so it's not good for some social media. But if I'm going to make a new piece based on that, I'll just brush that out. This is just a download I found of that piece, of a good quality image, because I actually have here a scan of one of the actual magazines or encyclopedias where I actually found this isn't what the picture you just looked at before was an actual scan version of the actual painting. This is where somebody has repainted the painting for the purpose of this book. That's why it looks slightly different. But first couple of times I had some use this. It was actual just pure cut and paste. So I only had a handful of these because I had some various different editions of the particular book this has been in. It was turned up in different kids' encyclopedias. So I'm going to continue to come up with these versions on it, because it's a good expressive piece. And here, this is an actual Photoshop file, and I don't know if it'll come up now with my version of Photoshop because it's on my no. See if it works. But I've done it with some open layers, so that it's because I knew I was going to make this piece, use this piece, this particular artwork more than once. So, and I knew there are things I'm going to do, like do things, have the windows open so I can put things in there. So I thought I'd make myself some bit more, bit more, take away some of the work having to redo the same things over and over again. So I don't think that copy of Photoshop's going to turn up, and I'm not going to try in this. But let's have a look at some other magazines. So we've got the Saturday Evening Post. These have some good illustrations that can be used. Now, some of these, I don't know why that's a Chrome HTML document, but I don't know if I can bring this up. Yes, I can. Oh, it's a WebP image, that's why. So that's why that has come up like that. So what you have here, these WebP images, when you're trying to find these images, there can be a pain if you don't have more up-to-date software, but then you can find online converters for them. So I just haven't done it with this. So this, again, this is what I'm always looking for are these figures here, things that are good to work with, because this can, or this can just is not a problem if you're doing it digitally. You can just like because you can just like put something there, or you could just lift these out of the out of the background and put it in another piece, or just have it a piece with a blank background, which I don't normally do very much, but it hasn't. I mean, this is good. There are things that can be done here. Like I said, things can be changed on it. It's an old vintage one from 1945, so it's just after the war. So where you've got you've got the serviceman holding a rising sun flag they probably brought back from Japan. I mean, this is an illustration, but things can always, even in little bits like this picture, can be changed. I always look for things where you can alter them, but it's also it's a good looking image by itself. It's got some good expressive elements. So I don't know if any of this is helping at all. So that can be good because that could be easily turned into something zany. This again, ordinarily I would put something in, say, put something in their hands, but the girl holding the ice creams is the thing. This is the bit that should not be changed. This thing of the holding the ice creams is good enough itself without. So it's the things around her that needs to be changed. Um, some kind of insanity behind her, maybe, or out as well in front of her. Something could be on the. I would say put something on the bonnet, but this I think is the thing that has to always remain. That's one of the things to look out for. The bits of pictures that work best. So again, these old adverts are good, but you have to be careful, and sometimes this is the bit that can't, as like I said, can't be shown. That face is, um, enough. Sometimes you find, like I say, sometimes you find a picture so weird that you don't need to change anything about it, and that picture is unintentionally surreal enough, which has happened with some of the things I've seen. So I don't know if any of this is making any sense to you, or just waffling. I'm telling you what I look for. What you look for, though, is a completely different matter. Because again, you've got science magazines; they're always good. Again, that's all those WebP images. So, science and invention. Again, these are good illustrations. Like this golden age of I don't know, because I don't know when this one's from, but like this golden age of illustrations and pulp, and I'm sure I've done something or intending on done something with her, but I can't remember off the top of my head. Again, this one borders on the whole thing of the kind of illustration is too unique. But since this could be put together as some kind of a statue, then who knows? I've definitely used that for a piece of artwork. So again, that's another one that's a bit borderline. But I like the whole thing. Another thing I look for is and I will just pick up, say, leaflets. For instance, I have something like this, hands holding things, because they can easily be popped onto something, or you can have the hand replace the thing that's holding. But I like to have the whole thing of hands holding things. And if I find something with pictures of money, that's always useful as well for some of the kind of stuff that I do. And things with eyes, as he's probably been seeing quite a bit. Propaganda. So this is all our piece of Soviet propaganda or Soviet style. That one's designed to be, that's a copyright-free image, but it's a more modern image, but it's designed to be in a Soviet style piece of propaganda. And I've changed, as you've seen from other episodes, and there I replaced that with a camera lens and an eye. So I hope all this is useful to you, because even if it's my waffle, won't if it helps with your thought process, I have no idea. So let me know what you think. Like, share, and subscribe. And the my description has my link tree in it, which has my merch links and my socials. And I shall speak to you soon. Thank you.